Y2JK, it's Amy. Today we're going to be making chocolate cake with beets. So the first thing we're going to do is mix our dry ingredients. So here I have 2 cups of whole wheat flour. To that we're going to add, let's consult the recipe. We're going to add 1½ teaspoons of baking soda. One. Now make sure it's baking soda and not powder. And 1/2. Alright. Next we do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I always like to pour the salt over the sink so I don't get too much salt in my cake. That would be yucky. Next, 1½ cups of sugar. One. And 1/2. Ooh, getting full. Then, the best part, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Alright. Okay, let's see. What do we have next? That's it for the dry ingredients. So I'm actually going to flip these into another bowl because this one's too full. Let's do this. Magic! And that helps mix everything around too. So the next thing we need to do is just take a fork, stir it around, and you can see the cocoa powder getting mixed in. Nice and well mixed. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Now we do the more wet ingredients. So we do 3 eggs. Then we do 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I like to use Smart Balance vegetable oil. It's very healthy. What was that again? 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. You know, just enough. Now remember, tablespoon is the big one. Teaspoon is the smaller one. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to add, I believe, vanilla, which is one of my favorites. Yep, 2 teaspoons vanilla. Now this you can pour over the bowl because it doesn't matter if you have too much because it's delicious. Yes. Alright, now in case you forgot, last but not least, our beets. Now let's just make sure I add it in this bowl. Okay. First I'm actually going to mix the dry and the wet ingredients together, then I'm going to add the beets. So here's my dry ingredients. Make sure it's mixed really well. And then I'm going to mix my wet ingredients a little bit so the eggs like swirl in with the vanilla and the oil. I'm going to pour it in. Ooh, look at that. Nice. All right. A big spoon, mix that all together. It's looking good. I really hope you guys like this. I think it's going to be delicious. Okay. So, now, last but not least, we're going to put the beets in. They're so pretty. Oh. One guy's stuck at the bottom. Alright, so you kind of got to mash them up so they mix in really well. I'll let you take a look. So I'm just taking the spoon and pressing it down hard on the beets. Okay, so now our batter is well mixed. We've smushed up all the beets and mixed them around with the other ingredients, and we are ready to put it in the pan. But before we do that, we have to grease the pan to make sure the cake doesn't stick to it. We want to get every last bit of cake out of this pan. Okay, so I'm going to take my vegetable oil from before, just kind of drizzle it along the bottom. Not too much, just a drizzle. And then what I like to do is take a paper towel, bunch it up into a little, I don't know, flat thing. And I go on the bottom and I just make the oil, make sure the oil is everywhere on the bottom of the pan. And I even do the sides, all 4 sides. And then there's one more thing to do to the pan. We take a little bit of flour and sprinkle it on the oil. And that also helps it not stick. So you just make sure your hand's clean before you do this. Reach it in, take a pinch, and sprinkle it. It's kind of fun. Okay. And then if you want to be a real pro, shake it like this, get it everywhere. Alright, so our oven has been preheated to 350. I'm going to put the batter into here. The batter's kind of sticky, so you want to be careful. Could actually even like scoop it. I like to make sure to get it all out. And whatever is left in the bowl, scrape it, scrape it. Okay. Alright, so then I'm using a spatula to press it down. You want to get it to all 4 corners, like that. And then just make sure it's even. You don't want one part really tall, one part really short. You want it nice and even. Okay. Alright. Look at that, guys. It's ready to go in the oven. Now let's see how long we need to put it in for. That's important. Okay. So on the recipe it says cook it 25 to 35 minutes. I'm going to go in the middle and say 30, but I'm going to check on it, probably at 25. Don't forget to use an oven mitt. Alright, in it goes. And in 30 minutes, you'll have a delicious chocolate cake.